Hello students, welcome to this session of physical and chemical changes. In this theory session, we'll be discussing few more chemical changes which we see around us. In the previous session, we discussed about rusting, right? Rusting is also a chemical change. And what is rust? It is a brown colored coating which is formed on the iron objects which are exposed to the atmosphere. Now in this session, we'll be discussing about few more chemical changes. So let's start with our theory session here. Browning of vegetable and fruit surfaces. It's slices, right? So browning of vegetable and fruit slices. You must have observed cut surface of vegetables like the potato, brinjal, when exposed to air turns brown. This is due to a chemical reaction between certain compounds present in potato, brinjal and the oxygen of air. Say it's the cut surface. If you see a potato, it has got a peel over it. Brinjal is also of different color, but when you just cut it and when that slice is exposed to air, the surface turns brown. Likewise, the color of slices of apples changes when cut and kept for some time. Now why is it so? The slices of apple also turn brown. Why is it so? Let's take up this apple first. Cut slices of apple turns brown when exposed to air because it contains iron. It's said that an apple a day keeps the doctor away because apple contains iron, lots of important nutrients there, and lots of nutrients, lots of vitamins, and also the malic acid and other sorts of acids present which are useful for our body. Now that apple contains iron, so on being sliced, the oxygen in the air reacts with the iron to form the brown colored compound which we see on the fruit's sliced part. So the sliced part of apple is turning brown. Why? Because it contains iron, and this iron reacts with the oxygen of air, forming what? Forming its oxide. Right? That changes the color of the sliced part. So that is also a chemical reaction, or that is also a chemical change, or that change is caused due to chemical reaction. So, how can you prevent it? We can prevent it by soaking in plain water. Say if the slices of apple or slices of brinjal or slices of potato, if they are soaked in water, browning can be reduced. See, soaking in plain water can reduce the level of browning by restricting the amount of oxygen in contact with tissue of apple, brinjal, potato, etc. It can be applied for any other vegetable also. So the vegetable like brinjal, potato, they should be soaked in water, or you can apply some lemon over it so that the contact between the sliced surface of apple and, see, if there is a lemon juice over it, the contact between the sliced surface and air is cut, right? Or this apple slice is not exposed to oxygen directly. In brinjal also there is very small amount of iron, and in potato also there is very small amount of iron. And there are other components also which react with air. So you just keep in mind why the slices of apple, brinjal, potato or other vegetables turn brown when exposed to air. This is because of, you can just write a one-liner answer for it. It is because of reaction between, or you can say it is because of the reaction of compounds present, of chemical compounds present in these with oxygen. So if the contact between these two is restricted, then that change in color can be avoided. So this is one sort of chemical change which you might come across daily. Now, let's take this another reaction. Reaction between vinegar and baking soda. You know what is vinegar? It is used in every kitchen, I can say. So if you put in baking soda into vinegar, just take a bowl or something like that and put some baking soda into the vinegar. What is formed is carbon dioxide gas plus water and other compounds. So you can see the bubbles on it. That bubbles represent the gas. The bubbles are formed when the gas is evolved. Now, vinegar consists mainly of acetic acid. So acetic acid is present in vinegar. And what is the formula? CH3COOH. What does it suggest? That there are two atoms of carbon. See here, but they are written separately. It's not C2. Right? Then 4 atoms of hydrogen and 2 atoms of oxygen. That is present in acetic acid, that is vinegar. Vinegar is the dilute solution of acetic acid. That is, much more amount of water is present. Say acetic acid is less and water is more. Then second is baking soda. Baking soda contains sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate. Got it? Its formula is NaHCO3. It contains 1 atom of sodium, 1 atom of hydrogen and 3 atoms of oxygen. So this is what? Sodium bicarbonate. Sodium. The symbol for sodium is Na. Na is derived from natrium, the Latin name of sodium. Right? Now there is a reaction between acetic acid and sodium bicarbonate. So the acetic acid, that is CH3COOH, reacts with NaHCO3 and it gives what? It gives CH3COONA plus of H2CO3. Then again this H2CO3 formed dissociates into H2O plus CO2. I know this reaction is very heavy for you. There is no need for you to remember this. I just wanted to tell you the products formed. Right? There's no need for you to by heart this reaction. Just remember one thing, a gas is evolved and that gas is carbon dioxide. Right? This H2CO3 is called as carbonic acid. Right? Because if I would have written that this CO2 is evolved directly, there would have been confusion in your mind. So I wrote this complete reaction, but you don't need to remember this. Okay? Now the gas evolved can be tested by passing it through lime water, which turns milky. Right? If this carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, it's not your lemon juice, right? Lime water. Lime, which is called as chuna in Hindi. That water. So lime water, if carbon dioxide is passed through that lime water, the lime water turns milky. This is because carbon dioxide reacts with lime water and forms calcium carbonate plus water. Right? Calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3. This is calcium carbonate which is formed, due to which the lime water turns milky. So, what type of change is this? It's a chemical change. Right? The reaction of vinegar with baking soda is a chemical change. See, let's summarize this. Acetic acid, or this I can say vinegar, which contains what? Acetic acid, CH3COOH, reacts with baking soda, that is NaHCO3. So this is acetic acid, this is sodium bicarbonate, and it is giving what? Carbon dioxide plus water plus other compounds. You remember this reaction, right? Now, due to the evolution of carbon dioxide, there is what? See, you can see the bubbles here. Now, this evolution, that this gas can be tested. This gas can be hydrogen, this gas can be oxygen, this gas can be any other. But this can be tested by treating carbon, or by passing the evolved gas through lime water. Now what happens then? Lime water turns milky. Right? Then what happens? Lime water turns milky. Why so? Because carbon dioxide reacts with lime, that is calcium hydroxide, and it forms calcium carbonate and water. This is calcium carbonate. And lime is what? Calcium hydroxide. Now, due to the formation of calcium carbonate, lime water turns milky. So, this represents a chemical change, or this is again a chemical change. Why it is happening? Because of the chemical reaction. Now, let's see this another reaction. Reaction between copper sulfate solution and iron filings. Copper sulfate solution is blue in color and acquires sea green color when iron filings are dropped into it. Now see, what is the formula of copper sulfate? It is CuSO4, copper. What is its Latin name? Cuprum. What is its symbol? Cu. Sulfur. What is the symbol of sulfur? S. Oxygen. What is the symbol of oxygen? O. How many atoms of copper are there in copper sulfate? 1. How many atoms of sulfur are there? 1. How many atoms of oxygen are there? 4. So what is the formula of copper sulfate? CuSO4. So to this blue colored copper sulfate solution, if iron filings are added, what happens? The color of the solution changes to green. So initially what was the color? Blue. Now what is obtained is a green colored solution. Okay? Now how it happens? This is again a chemical change, or it is due to a chemical reaction. Now, the iron filings acquire a brown color, which is because of the deposition of copper on the surface of iron filings. The green color of the solution is due to the formation of iron sulfate. So, copper sulfate, what is the formula? CuSO4 reacts with iron filings. What is the Latin name of iron? It's ferrum. What is its symbol? Fe. And it forms what? FeSO4, iron sulfate, plus copper, and this copper deposits on the surface of iron. And ferrous sulfate has got a green color. Right? See, this iron has removed Cu from copper sulfate. That's it. Now see this. This is a reaction actually. This is a blue colored solution, and it is copper sulfate, CuSO4, and it has become green due to FeSO4. So what has happened? CuSO4 plus Fe gives FeSO4 plus Cu. Fe displaces copper from its solution or from its compound. The reaction can be represented as copper sulfate plus iron gives iron sulfate plus copper. Now this copper deposits on the surface of iron filings, giving it what color? A brown color. Okay? So this is also a chemical change. I hope you have understood this. Your teacher can do this in the laboratory. Now the next process is crystallization. What is crystallization? We have to study about it. Crystals are the purest solid form of a substance having a definite geometrical shape. That is, every crystal has got its own shape. Say you can see sugar crystals. So sugar crystals have got some specific shape, like the crystals of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is again a crystal. So crystals of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is what? It's table salt. They have also got some specific shape. Now the table salt which you are eating is the grinded one. When actually sodium chloride is formed from seawater, this you have studied in your previous class, that is in grade 6. So when seawater or when sodium chloride or table salt is formed from seawater by evaporation, it takes up some shape. So crystals have got specific geometry. The process by which an impure compound is converted into its crystal is known as crystallization. See, how do you obtain salt, table salt? Let's see this. How can we obtain table salt? Okay. Now, chemically, table salt is sodium chloride. This I have told you. Table salt is obtained by evaporating seawater. This you have studied in your grade 6. Separation of substances is the chapter. The salt thus obtained contains certain undesirable substances such as magnesium chloride, sand, etc. mixed with sodium chloride. So what is done is the seawater, I'll just revise, the seawater is collected in pits, right? And is allowed to evaporate. So what will happen? Water will be evaporated, and what will be left behind is solid. Because see, salt cannot be evaporated, or any other compound which is there, sand or magnesium chloride, they cannot be evaporated. So they are left behind. But whatever salt is left behind also contains certain impurities like magnesium chloride, like sand, and many more things. So that is to be separated. Now how it is done? These impurities are removed from table salt through the process of crystallization again. Now in this process, what is done? In this process, maximum amount of salt is dissolved in boiling water. See, the boiling water is taken, and in this maximum amount of salt is deposited. The salt solution formed is filtered to remove the insoluble impurities. Remember, the water should be boiling, it should be hot. Now, when salt is dissolved in it, it will make a solution. Then it is filtered. If it will be filtered, the insoluble impurities like your sand, pebbles, and even magnesium chloride will be removed out. Though magnesium chloride is soluble, but what will be removed out is the sand and pebbles and whatever other things are present. The filtered solution is left undisturbed for few hours. Then sodium chloride will aggregate and form crystals with well-definite shape, leaving behind undesirable impurities in the solution. See, what has been done is, in the boiling water, what is added is maximum amount of salt. Then this solution is what? Filtered. Filtered to remove sand and the shells of animals and all the other things, right? Then that solution is left, which forms the crystals, or this is a crystal of NaCl. Right? So students, small amount of magnesium chloride is also there in salt. Very, very small amount. It is not all the magnesium chloride which is present is not crystallized with sodium chloride, but a very small amount of magnesium chloride is also there. You must have seen salt getting wet in rainy season. This is because of the presence of magnesium chloride in the solution or with the salt. Magnesium chloride, a small amount. It's very small actually. Now this magnesium chloride absorbs moisture from the surroundings or from the atmosphere, due to which salt becomes wet. Remember, it's in very, very small amount. Right? So this is how salt is formed, and this is what is the process of crystallization. Right? This is also a chemical change. Students, there are many more chemical changes taking place. Say, you must be knowing that there is ozone layer, right? Ozone layer in the atmosphere. There is ozone layer. Now what is ozone? The formula is O3. That is, ozone contains 3 atoms of oxygen. Now this particular layer which is in the atmosphere is not allowing the harmful UV rays, that is ultraviolet rays, to enter the Earth's atmosphere, right? But what is happening? Due to pollution, there are number of compounds which are released. Say from your refrigerators, from air conditioners, from the planes flying high. The compounds like CFC, these are called as chlorofluorocarbons. These are released. Now they react with ozone and break it into oxygen molecules. Right? So what is happening? There is a layer of ozone, and due to the reaction, what happens? There forms the hole. There is forming a hole. Reaction of what? Chlorofluorocarbons. From where they are released? From all the equipments which you are using, the ACs, the refrigerators, the computers, and many other equipments which you are using. ACs, refrigerators and coolers are the main among them. And also the aeroplanes, they also release these chlorofluorocarbons. Now they react with the ozone layer and they just break the ozone molecule into oxygen molecules, and thus creating a hole over here. And due to this hole, what will happen? Due to the hole in ozone layer, what is happening? UV rays are entering, right? So you're now exposed to UV rays. Somewhere near Pacific Ocean, there is a hole in the ozone layer. From there UV rays are coming. Now these UV rays or ultraviolet rays are very harmful for us. They can cause skin cancer. Right? And other ailments. So this is also a chemical reaction which is taking place in the atmosphere. So this is also what? This is also a chemical change. So students, this is all about chemical changes. And there are many more changes which are occurring around us. Now you can see one or the other change if you exactly know what a chemical change is. Now I hope you can distinguish between a physical change and a chemical change. Can you? Of course you can. Just remember one thing, in physical change, no new substance is formed. In chemical change, a new substance is formed. In physical change, there is change in size, shape of the object. Whereas in chemical change, there is change in the chemical properties of the object. Right? So this is all about your topic, physical and chemical changes, students. Just go through your text and I hope the things will be clear to you. So thank you, students, for listening patiently this session, and I hope you have enjoyed the sessions of physical and chemical changes. So students, this topic is actually the basics of chemistry. Now in your next classes you'll be studying more of the chemistry. Right? So thank you once again and do have a nice time ahead.